Hello, and welcome to another Pop Culture Icons as D&D characters. I'm TJ.
And Ian.
At the Freakopolis Geekery in Whitehall, New York. This is a little video series we've been doing for like a couple months now.
Yeah, we got quite a few characters under our belt.
Yeah, you can tell we're moving into fall. I got my jacket on, featuring laser wolf attack pin.
Nice, nice.
Representing sort of the creator of the character that we're going to be turning into a D&D character tonight.
Which is Norgal, the titular Headlopper.
The Headlopper from, yes, the Headlopper comics. One of our favorites on the shelf.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not quite at the, Darth Vader level of fame.
No, he's a little more obscure, but he's definitely one of our personal favorites as far as modern comics go, and he belongs as a D&D character.
Yeah, Headlopper, the comic itself is very sword and sorcery.
Yeah.
So this isn't a huge leap, as you can see him there on your screen now. He sort of wears stuff that
implies a fantasy world,
yeah, would wear. But Andrew McLean and Image Comics have the start of the third volume
coming very soon,
coming out this Wednesday on New Comic Book Day. So we thought it'd be a perfect chance for us to create this character.
Yeah, put him to paper and do a little homage to one of our favorites.
Yeah, and Andrew McLean himself, in our interview with him when we did Headlopper as a comic book club book, expressed some interest in playing D&D. So Andrew, if you're out there, we got a character made up for you right now, man.
Yeah.
Ready to go. Well, in about an hour or so.
Yeah, and be sure to check that video out if you don't know what Headlopper is about and might want to get into it. We highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's a favorite at the store for sure. All right, cool. So I think we can sort of get into our regular routine of how we approach making these characters from other properties into D&D characters.
Yeah, we got a few rules that we go by. First off, we turn them into 5th level.
Fifth level, everybody knows the rules.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
Yeah, it's as far as we go. We use the standard array. You may very well say that Norgal has a 20 strength. That's believable. We're going to be making them as the guidelines say in the hardcovers. And in particular, this character, to fill out some of the key attributes, sometimes we give him a magic item. This character will have a very special magic item.
Yeah, you can see him holding it there right now. Agatha, the Blue Witch, will make an appearance in our D&D character. We also have these key attributes that we try and hit as marks just to keep us on track throughout the evening. And our key attributes for the Headlopper are, first up,
his head-lopping skills.
Yeah.
It's in the name.
It's no joke. Inside the comic, he kills, 99% of things by literally cutting their heads off.
Yeah, entire armies at one time, epic monsters. His maneuver is to chop them right off.
Right. So we're going to try and hit that. I don't know that there's like a feat for that or anything.
Yeah, we'll make sure that he's good at hitting things with a big sword.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how we're going to check that off. But surprisingly, he's much more agile than you might expect of someone of his, broad width.
Absolutely. He's capable of just launching off the ground and dodging really quick maneuvers and stuff. So
yeah, he fights through the air a lot. It makes it easier to get to their heads, I guess.
Yeah, when you're fighting something that's 200 feet tall.
Yeah, exactly. And then finally,
Agatha, the Blue Witch, the head that he carries around that is filled with arcane energy.
Yeah, we're going to try and make her, as we said, as a magic item a little later on tonight.
That's the plan.
But I think this will give us a chance to get right into it.
Let's do it.
All right. As you guys know, we use Roll20 and its Character Mancer to sort of keep us on track, keep things moving in the right direction.
Yep.
And this has already started. We've got race. What race is Norgal?
It's a good question.
I mean, Headlopper's sort of interesting in that it's very sorcery, or, pretty classic fantasy Conan type, the barbarian type fantasy. But all the races are sort of twisted.
Yeah, definitely.
We haven't really seen an orc
or
an elf.
We have seen a gnomish-like creature, but it's not exactly a gnome.
Yeah, exactly. So, he's adjacent to a couple of these things, I guess, but I think really human probably makes the most sense.
I'd say there is an argument for Goliath, potentially, but I think...
he's so huge?
Yeah. But that's the only reason, and I don't think that necessarily his background covers that crazy well, so I think he's a human, in a land of humans.
Yeah, I think so. He's a large, big human. Age, that's interesting, considering he looks sort of aged.
Yeah, he, by the time you get into Volume 1, it's apparent that he's had a great many adventures before this point.
Definitely.
And so he's kind of veteran, yeah. He might be, you know, closer to 50 or something.
I think 50 sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
50 years old, alignment. Now, we didn't really talk about this.
No, and there's a lot we could tackle with it. So we have our goods, our evils, our lawful and chaotic is kind of the spectrum between them.
He's not evil.
He's not evil, no. He's not lawful good either.
No.
No. He has a tendency to not follow orders.
Right. Yeah, I think there's an argument for neutral good, chaotic good. That's probably those two.
I'm leaning
towards...
He's
a hero.
Yeah, he definitely does good things. But I'm leaning towards actually suggesting by the end of Volume 1, with what he does with his rewards and stuff from his adventure, it might be that he's chaotic good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, he doesn't follow the rules, but he's in it to do good stuff for good people.
Definitely.
Cool. His size is medium, his speed is 30 feet.
Language proficiencies, common.
Fill as needed, yeah.
And he is a standard human, which will grant him +1
to everything.
And to every single stat.
Yeah. So he'll be more, you know, evenly statted than not. And then heading on into class.
Class is up next, yeah.
We have
let's see.
Our options from the player's handbook, and we decided that he would kick it off with some fighting finesse.
Yeah, we definitely kicked around a couple of these. Rather, barbarian also makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he does kind of have that barbaric stature, but he has more finesse in his fighting than you would expect. He's very capable of wielding his greatsword with a lot of training implied. Like, he doesn't swing it wildly, he cuts off things' heads with precision.
Definitely.
And that implies a fighter.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to probably take a dip into barbarian as we get up in the levels.
That's the plan, because he fights shirtless, which is just a barbarian thing.
As you can see there, shirtless, totally.
Cool. Skill proficiencies. He gets 2 as a fighter. We haven't really talked too much about his background, so we might revisit these as necessary.
Definitely. You always fall into that trap of ending up having to sort of look at the background skill proficiencies that are coming as well and make changes, but athletics?
Not a question.
Yeah.
He's proficient in athletics.
Look at those arms.
Yeah. He's a monstrously muscular dude.
And then I mean, we see him use intimidation.
He definitely does.
Survival, perception.
Yeah, he's off relatively alone most of the time, which
yeah.
implies a lot of survival skill.
Definitely in the first volume.
Yep.
Second, I mean, acrobatics makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
And that's not really one you get from backgrounds.
No,
I think it's a safe bet.
I think so as well. Just going into the physical attributes with these first proficiencies anyway.
Yeah, and it starts to check off that
agility. Yep, I think so.
All right, cool. So he gets proficiency in all weapons and armors.
And he gets to choose a fighting style.
And as you might imagine,
great weapon fighting.
Yeah, he uses a greatsword.
Yeah, a huge two-handed hunk of metal. And so with great weapon fighting, when you roll a 1 or 2 on a damage die for an attack, you can re-roll those dice once on your weapon damage.
Yeah, not bad, especially when you're rolling a D8 or a D10
or 2D6.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to get those 1s or 2s. It's really a bummer. You also get, as first level as a fighter, second wind, you have limited well of stamina that you can draw on to protect yourself from harm. On your turn, you can use a bonus action to regain hit points equal to 1d10 plus your fighter level. And if you use that once, you gotta finish a short or long rest to use it again.
We see Norgal use this in combat. He takes heavy hits and then takes a second wind and gets right back into it.
Takes a breath.
Cool.
Cool. So that is class.
Now we got to fill out his ability scores. We're going to be using the standard array as found on page 15 of the player's handbook. That is 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8, with 10 being the average human.
So I think it's no surprise, strength is probably his highest.
I think so. Just take a look at him.
Yeah, he's very wide, very, very, very strong.
Yeah.
So we'll plug the 15 in there.
Which gives him an even 16 with a +3 in strength. He is notably strong.
Next up, I mean, Con and Dex both have arguments for being pretty high.
Yeah, definitely. He is surprisingly dexterous. He's also very tough. On the physical side of things, he's going to be way above your average.
Here's the thing, right? They're both going to end up at +2s.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter where we put them.
So we say 14,
13. And so you see we have our 16, 15, 14 as humans get it. Which brings us to the more ethereal stats as you put them.
Intelligence, wisdom, charisma. I think out of the 3, wisdom's is highest.
Probably.
He's sort of, as we said, older, veteran type warrior. So
yeah, he's at the time.
Yeah, so that would be, what, the 12?
The 12, which brings him to a 13.
Well, he's not dumb. He's not particularly smart.
No, he's not super intelligent. He's not known for being able to read the glyphs of warnings or anything like that.
Exactly. So I think probably 10.
Relatively average intelligence.
And charisma, he's not particularly charismatic. No. He's kind of stoic, stone-faced, not super outgoing. Can sort of be a little mean at times.
Yeah, sometimes he's a little brutish to the outsider. It takes a lot to kind of peel back that exterior and see what kind of man he really is.
And his friends really like him.
Yeah.
But it takes a while to warm up to him, I think.
Definitely. And you can also see a lot of that in his relationship with Agatha, or nearly everyone that he gets a job from, he's pretty confrontational with.
For sure. All right, cool. So he ends up with a 16 strength, 15 dex, 14 constitution, 11 intelligence, 13 wisdom, 9 charisma.
Cool. Looks good to me.
Yeah, definitely. And background. Now, we didn't really talk about this.
No, and there's some potential for a few different backgrounds.
And although we don't really know
his background,
canon-wise, like it hasn't really been exposed yet.
No, you kind of jump into the story right where he's already in the middle of an adventure, and he's quite veteran, so we don't know exactly where he came from.
Good questions for Andrew.
Yeah, that's true.
Totally. I think, with Volume 3 coming out, maybe we'll get bits and pieces more of that.
That would be cool. We'll be making our best guess.
Yeah. And so, I really think, out of all of them, I think he's probably a hermit.
That's what I was thinking too, especially with his relationship with finding Agatha the Blue Witch and having her head. That very much so counts as a secret that he's uncovered about the world, which is what hermits get.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that totally makes sense. And he moves around a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem, he has a couple friends that we've seen, but he mostly, he'll leave them behind to go do his thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think hermit makes the most sense.
Cool, I'll hop on over to hermit. Hermit. You lived in seclusion for a formative part of your life. Nice and simple. In that time, you found the clamor of society. Apart from the clamor of society, you found quiet, solitude, perhaps some of the answers you were looking for. And that answer may very well be Agatha. For skill proficiencies, you get medicine and religion,
which
a little weird.
Or sort of weird, but really outside of acrobatics and athletics, I don't know that there's
skills he really focuses in on. Yeah.
It's really shown. So unfortunately, with your background, as we said, you get some weird skill proficiency.
It's always going to be a little weird.
Yeah.
Tool proficiencies, an herbalism kit. Don't quite ever see him use that, but he is a survivalist on his own, so it kind of plays into that a little. And then discovery is the feature. And his discovery is Agatha.
Right.
It's a really general feature for a background in that you have discovered some grand secret about the world that the rest of society doesn't know about. For Norgal, the best bet on that is chopped off a blue witch's head, and her power is a secret that I hold. Cool.
Yeah, and he sort of like keeps Agatha around a lot because he doesn't trust anybody else to have it.
Yeah, he literally says if I left you at the wayside, then someone would pick you up and use you for evil. So
yeah, totally. What's going on, Darkness? How you doing, dude? Good to see you here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
So her power is a secret I hold.
Yep, I think that's a good way to put it. Awesome.
Cool. So and he literally holds her
in his hand.
Yeah, all the time until he punts her across the field or whatever.
Yep.
Cool.
Personality traits. All right, I'll list them on through. I've been isolated for so long I rarely speak, preferring gestures and the occasional grunt. On occasion, yeah.
Yeah, to some degree. That might be it.
I'm utterly serene even in the face of disaster. Sometimes he can be challenged, and it's difficult on him. He's not serene, I would say. The leader of my community had something wise to say on every topic, not as far as we know, yeah. Feel tremendous empathy for all who suffer, sometimes not so much.
Yeah, I mean, Agatha's arguably suffering. That he keeps her around.
Yeah, he's cool with that.
Yeah.
I'm oblivious to etiquette and social expectations. Sometimes, yeah. I connect everything that happens to me to a grand cosmic plan. He doesn't think that way. I often get lost in my own thoughts and contemplation, becoming oblivious to my surroundings. I don't see that too often. He's usually pretty on point.
Yeah.
And I'm working on a grand philosophical theory. No.
So I think it's the first one.
Yeah, I've been isolated for so long that I rarely speak, preferring gestures and the occasional grunt. That's definitely true. He, often even with his friends, he just gives you a little acknowledgement when you give him a monologue. Gestures and the occasional grunt. Alright, so ideal. Greater good. My gifts are meant to be shared with all, not used for my own benefit. Meh.
No, particularly.
Emotions must not cloud our sense of thinking of what is right or wrong.
No.
Meh. Solitude and contemplation are path towards mystical or magical power. Truth is, he doesn't like magic so much.
I think it's 6.
Yeah.
Self-knowledge.
If you know yourself, there's nothing left to know. That's, yeah. His training definitely points towards this.
He doesn't particularly like seek out knowledge or anything. He just feels, I mean, he wants to help people, but he's sort of stoic in his reactions to things because he knows himself to be true to himself. So
nice. So bond. Nothing is more important than the members of my hermitage. Meh. I entered seclusion to hide from the ones who might still be haunting me. Meh. Maybe. I'm still seeking enlightenment.
it's fine.
Should my discovery come to light, it would bring ruin to the world. Yeah, definitely. If someone evil got their hands on the power that is Agatha, they could really make some problems.
Yeah, sort of both volumes at least touch on that.
Yeah.
So it could bring ruin to the world.
Yep. And then finally a flaw. I harbor dark, bloodthirsty thoughts about my isolation. I'm dogmatic in my thoughts and philosophy. I let my need to win arguments overshadow friendships and harmony. Sometimes he really risks it for his sense of pride.
Right, definitely.
Yeah, I think that one.
Alright.
Or I like keeping secrets and won't share them with anyone.
I'll say I think it's the argument one.
Yeah.
What is it? I let my need to win arguments?
Overshadow friendships and harmony.
We'll just say pride.
Yeah.
I let my pride overshadow.
And that's definitely true. He's a very prideful warrior, and people learn why. Overshadow friendships and harmony.
Cool. So that is Norgal the Headlopper's background. He is a hermit, so as such learned medicine, religion, herbalism kit. He has discovered something, Agatha the Blue Witch, a secret which he wishes to withhold from the rest of the world. His personality traits are...
Been isolated for so long that I rarely respond with words, just grunts and gestures. If you know that yourself, there's nothing more to know, evident of his self-training. Should my discovery come to light, it would bring ruin to the world. Agatha is a power that should not fall into the wrong hands. And I let my pride overshadow friendship and harmony. Yeah, he gets in arguments pretty often that he doesn't want to lose.
Totally, yeah. So chainmail or leather armor. We're actually not going to use either of these because we've got plans for his armor class a little later. Yeah. 2 of shield or any martial weapon.
He uses 1 martial weapon. It's a 2-handed greatsword.
Yeah. Where is that? Okay.
Right there.
Greatsword. And really none of this other stuff. I mean, we'll give him an explorer's pack just because he tends to move from place to place. He's sort of nomadic. Makes sense for him to have like a bedroll and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. He does not know any spells.
No feats at first level. In review, Norgal
is a human.
Is a standard human. Given the wacky things you see inside of Headlopper, I think that makes pretty good sense.
Yep.
His class is fighter with a great weapon fighting style. Abilities.
16 strength, 15 dex, 14 con, 11 intelligence, 13 wisdom, 9 charisma. And he's a hermit. Cool.
So we'll apply those changes. How do you think we're doing on our key attributes?
I think we're doing pretty well with the head lopping skills, the agility, and Agatha. I think,
all 3 of them I think are pretty well on their way. Head lopping, given that he wields a giant greatsword.
And is pretty proficient with it already.
Yeah. Agility, he is, we gave him a pretty high dex plus acrobatics proficiency, and Agatha, we're getting started on that with his background.
Yep.
So we're working towards those things.
Cool. Looks good to me.
So 12 hit points, not bad.
No. So if we bring him up to where he will be at 5th level,
He'll have 60.
he'll have
No. I mean, we're taking max for everything. We're going to do 1 level in Barbarian.
So 64.
Let's see.
'Cause it would be-
Yeah,
yep.
exactly.
Plus 14 for a max with Barbarian. And
So 62.
62? Yeah.
All right, well, you'll see why that happened.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
So, fighter.
Let's bring him to level 2.
So he just gets a class ability, I believe?
Which is Action Surge. Nice and simple.
Nice.
Thanks, man, about the dragon head. Yeah, we take a lot of pride in our D&D section.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, we're actually a comics and game shop, so it's just a nice piece to have in the shop.
Yeah.
Kicking around. Cool. So, let's see.
Action Surge.
And it's,
On your turn, you can take 1 additional action on top of your regular actions and possible bonus action.
but that's only every once in a while, right?
Yeah, you can use this ability every short or long rest.
On your turn,
Which is,
take an extra action.
Yep. It's a ridiculously powerful ability, really. One of the strongest second-level abilities you can get in the game.
Once per short or long rest?
Yep. Allows you to run a ridiculous distance or make multiple attacks like you shouldn't be able to, yada yada yada.
Nice. All right, level
3. Martial Archetype. Now, for fighters, they have their options between Champion, Battlemaster, and Eldritch Knight in the Standard Player's Handbook, and upon looking at all the subclasses, we decided on Champion.
Yeah, Champion definitely makes sense.
So Champion at 3rd level gets improved critical. It is nasty. This is definitely playing into the head lopping part of things.
Oh yeah, totally.
He gets a crit on 19s or 20s. That's a 10% chance every time he swings his weapon to hit you super hard.
You crit on 19s and 20s.
And 20s.
During attack actions.
Yep. And that's all they get at 3rd level, but that is just a 10% chance to crit from a 5% can be... You might have to get a little lucky, but yeah, it is a really powerful ability.
Yeah, definitely getting into that head lopping key attribute. You know, when he does roll a 19 or 20, he's going to cut that head clean off.
Exactly.
Of course, it doesn't really play out like that when you're actually rolling dice and stuff, but for the fiction of things,
yep.
Totally.
And then we have our 4th level, because yeah, you only get Martial Archetype at 3rd level. And 4th level, we're going to be picking a feat.
Right. Or rather, I guess there's not... Well, we could get +3 in Dex and Con, unless you had a feat in mind.
Great Weapon Master.
Oh no, he can only get it in Dex.
Right. Yeah, you could bring his Dex up a little bit.
Or his Strength up to 18. They're both good.
I was thinking, yeah, Great Weapon Fighting, because... Well, Great Weapon Master, I think, is the name of it. Great Weapon Fighting is the fighter ability, but it really makes it so that you can get crazy damage out there. You take a -5 to hit for a +10 to damage.
All right.
Let me see if I can...
out.
Yeah, Great Weapon Master. On your turn, when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon or reduce a creature to 0 hit points with 1, you can make a melee weapon attack as a bonus action. So it also plays into his Champion ability.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
All right, so 4th level, basically.
Yep.
So when you
crit or reduce a creature to 0 hit points, make an extra attack as a bonus action.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's gonna
Action Surge, extra attack, reckless attack. He's gonna have so many options. All right, when you crit or reduce a creature to 0 HP, make another attack.
Make a bonus action attack. If you've already used your bonus action, you're not going to be able to make this attack.
Gotcha.
That's kind of the limiter. And finally, before you make a melee attack with a heavy weapon you are proficient with, you can choose to take a -5 penalty to the attack roll. If the attack hits, you add +10 to damage. It's devastating. It's a little bit of a gamble, because if you roll low, no dice, but if you actually hit them, the plus 10 to damage makes for some incredible hits. And guess what? Critical hits always succeed. So.
Yeah, that's true. Proficient with -5 to hit, plus 10 to damage.
Plus 10 to damage. It's it's a way to put out really big numbers.
Pretty wild.
Cool. So that is 4th level, and let's jump on into 5th, I suppose.
5th level, yeah.
And 5th level, we're going to be dipping into Barbarian.
You know, I don't know how to.
I think we might just, seeing as you only get the attributes, we might just have to put them on down there in the rest of the skill or the abilities. So you get Rage at 1st level as a Barbarian. In battle, you fight with Primal Ferocity. On your turn, you can enter Rage as a bonus action. You have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. We see this often. You also, when making a melee weapon attack using strength, you gain a bonus to that damage that increases as you gain levels in Barbarian. So first, you have advantage on strength checks and saving throws. When you make a strength-based attack, plus 2 to damage. I'm playing through some Tomb of Annihilation. Ooh, that's dangerous.
Let's see. Side quest, yes, roll. Whoa! I mean, holy symbol in that environment's probably pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you're looking for.
Yeah, totally.
All right, and you have resistance. Did you get the second part in?
Yep.
Yeah, plus 2. And you have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. All normal forms of physical damage he's resistant to, so he'll be taking half damage on that. That's very powerful.
Nice.
That's Rage. And then he also gets unarmored defense, which is key to how we're going to be building him. It allows him, when you're not wearing any armor, as he is right now, your armor equals 10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your constitution modifier. That means he's sitting with a 14.
10 plus
con plus dex.
Yeah, I suppose so. 14. Not
14's
crazy high, but
pretty good for not wearing any armor at all.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that does it as far as what he's getting from his class and whatnot.
Nice. Finally, so I think we're pretty well on our way to checking off some of these key attributes for this character that we're trying to recreate.
Yep.
But there's one still sort of missing.
And that's Agatha. Agatha is, she's a wondrous item. No doubt about it, the way we built her.
I'm going to make her a feature. Just
that sounds good, yeah. It needs a lot of space.
Agatha the Blue Witch.
This head he carries around.
Yeah, of this hag he killed. Cool.
Alright, so the way I have it written, Agatha is a wondrous item. She has a spell attack bonus of plus 5. Spell save DC of 13. And what do you think her save is? Charisma? Intelligence? A witch would imply in D&D a wizard who uses intelligence.
Yeah. Do you know what hags have as a spell save?
I should.
Yeah, you just used them.
I think either charisma or intelligence are the way to go with this.
All right, we'll say int.
Okay. Or charisma goes Esreno roll.
Oh, she's kind of like a warlock, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think there's an argument for either. Do as you please. And then 3 spells per day. Or per long rest. Is what she will cast for Norgal. And as a bonus action, Agatha casts a random second level wizard spell. This could be, it's a long list of potential spells that she could blast out, but honestly, Agatha is an unreliable ally.
Yeah, she hangs out with Norgal, the head Lopper, quite a lot, but she doesn't always agree with the things he's doing. They're sort of adversaries a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But she also has a sense of self-preservation, so she'll use her own abilities locked in that head of hers and that magic arcane energy she wields to protect herself and sometimes even Norgal.
Yeah, they have a love-hate relationship, it seems.
So what are the options?
Yeah, as a second level spell, just a random one off this list, you could cast Alter Self, Arcane Lock, Blindness, Deafness, Blur, Cloud of Daggers, Continual Flame, Crown of Madness, Darkness, Dark Vision, Detect Thoughts, Enlarge Reduce, Flaming Sphere, Gentle Repose, Gust of Wind, Hold Person, Invisibility, Knock, Levitate, Locate Object, Magic Mouth, Magic Weapon, Acid Arrow, Mirror Image, Misty Step, Nistul's Magic Aura, Phantasmal Force, Ray of Enfeeblement, Rope Trick, Scorching Ray, See Invisibility, Shatter, Spider Climb, Suggestion, and Web. So there is a lot that she could potentially do in the middle of combat, just randomly, boom, Scorching Ray, randomly, boom, Web, you know. I think it's a really exciting addition to this character and makes him super interesting. Some may consider it very powerful. You could nerf it by saying she chooses random targets with the spells. So when she blasts out the Scorching Ray, she could just blast anyone she sees in front of her. We have seen her use Scorching Ray in the comic books.
Yeah.
And we were thinking about limiting her to a very small spell list. But then
she's so chaotic.
Yeah, you brought up the fact that often she kind of works against Norgal, and so it should be a random. Also, as another stipulation, we've seen she is capable of casting even like 8th level, potentially higher, more powerful spells, but in assistance with Norgal in the middle of combat and for balancing, we limit it to 2nd level.
Yeah, it's keeping it, like a 5th level character. And she can only do that 3 times a day.
Yeah.
That's like her willingness to do it 3 times
exactly.
a day.
Not that she can't.
Yeah, she's much more powerful than that.
Cool, so that I think covers Agatha. Now we can do our final overview.
I think he's got 2 rages, right?
Yes, I believe so. 2 rages with a +2 to damage.
Okay, cool.
The
proficiency bonus still
remember
2,
that.
I think?
Should be +3. Or do you get the proficiency bonus? No. When you multi-class?
I don't believe you do.
I don't think so. You could correct us on that if we're wrong, but
it's all right. All right, cool. So this is Norgal the Headlopper as a 5th level, 5th edition D&D character.
Yep.
Let's go into review. Check him out. Norgal the Headlopper, champion, fighter, level 4, barbarian,
level
1, with the Hermit background, standard human, and alignment of chaotic good.
He's sitting with a 16 strength at +3, a 15 dex at +2, a 14 constitution at +2, an 11 intelligence at +0, 13 wisdom at +1, and a 9 charisma.
He's got proficiency in strength and constitution saving throws.
Makes good sense. He's pretty beefy against those.
And proficiency in the acrobatics, athletics, medicine, and religion skill.
A little weird.
Yeah, but he got that from his background.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? As his armor class 14, initiative +2, speed of 30. From his Hermit background, he got some personality traits.
Pretty sure his HP should be 64. He'd get 14 from... You get 50 from...
62.
Well, it's a D12 on barbarians.
Yeah, but he only gets 2 more than what he would get from fighter.
Right, which would be a 12.
And he gets 60 from being 5 levels of fighter, +2, 62.
Is that ignoring his constitution bonus?
No.
Alright.
12 times 5, 60.
Right.
12 times 4 is 48, +14, 62.
The 48, yeah, I was thinking that. Yep, my bad. Alright.
So from his background, he got these personality traits.
Yeah, I've been isolated for so long that I rarely speak, preferring gestures and the occasional grunt. Definitely true. Mm-hmm. His ideal is if you know yourself, there's nothing left to know. As a loner, he exemplifies this. His bond is, should my discovery come to light, it would bring ruin to the world. Agatha is a danger to not be unleashed, and I let my pride overshadow friendships and harmony. He gets in a lot of arguments that seem to cause issues like that.
And so he has a lot of class abilities, great weapon fighting.
When he rolls a 1 or 2 on damage dice for an attack with a melee weapon, he can re-roll those dice and try and get a better number.
He gets second wind.
He gets a D10 plus his fighter level, so +4 HP that he can regain as a bonus action, just to be tougher than not.
Action surge.
He can take an additional action on top of his regular actions and bonus action.
From champion,
he gets
improved critical.
Yeah, with a crit on 19 or 20, he has a 10% chance to crit with any single melee attack.
We took a feat at level 4,
which allows him, the Great Weapon Master feat allows him to make an extra attack when he crits. which works very well with the improved critical, and if he reduces a creature to 0 HP, as well as before making an attack with a heavy weapon he's proficient with, he can take a -5 to hit for a +10 to damage, a little bit of a gamble, but it can add up to some really crazy numbers.
And finally, we gave him 1 level in Barbarian at level 5 just to fill out his nature of not wearing armor and sort of going into a rage.
Yep.
So as such, he gets rage.
Advantage on strength, checks, and saving throws, and when you make a strength-based attack +2 to damage, and you have resistance to physical damage, being slashing, bludgeoning, and piercing.
He also gets unarmored defense. Your AC is 10, plus your con bonus, plus your dex bonus. And finally,
we gave him this wondrous item just to make sure that he really covers all the bases. Agatha, the Blue Witch, the head he carries around, has a spell attack bonus of +5, a spell save DC of 13 versus Charisma. She casts 3 spells per long rest, and as a bonus action in combat, Agatha casts a random 2nd level wizard spell, which is both powerful and a little bit crazy.
Pretty serious.
Yep.
So that is Norgal the Headlopper. Let's take a look. Did we complete these key attributes?
Head lopping skills.
I think so. Between great weapon fighting, champion, great weapon master,
yeah,
high strength, definitely.
Agility. He's proficient with acrobatics and athletics. Not proficient in dexterity saving throws, but there's some paths he could take going forward that would continue to increase his ability to react to stuff with agility.
And Agatha, that cursed head he keeps around with him all the time, also there through that wondrous item that we gifted him. Very powerful magic item.
Very unreliable.
Very chaotic and unreliable, yes. Cool, so thanks so much for joining us, guys. I hope you enjoyed our creation of Norgal, the Headlopper. Check out your local comic book store next week for Volume 3, the start of Volume 3 coming from Image Comics and Andrew McLean.
Yeah.
Volume 1 and 2 are out now. One of our favorites.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
love that book. And we have an upcoming actual play stream for D&D here on Twitch at twitch.tv/Freakopolis. The Lands of Alair.
Yeah, you've made your character recently.
I have.
We have another character coming out very soon.
This weekend.
And it's coming together to be a really awesome party and soon to be a really awesome adventure that you can be in on too. Make sure to catch it when it comes out very soon.
So thanks so much for joining us. Let us know who you want us to create next in the comments below. And like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. And have a good night.
Good night, guys.